Time for a new edition of Beyond the Arc here on High School Cube News. Brian Chimino along with Michael O'Brien of the Chicago Sun-Times. It's probably one of the most anticipated weeks of high school basketball during the season, so we're here to preview sectional week throughout the Chicagoland area. Let's start in Class 3A in Julian, Mike. Number 5, Morgan Park on Tuesday night will be taking on Vocational. Then on Wednesday, number 3, Bogan taking on King. Friday, we could see Morgan Park, Bogan Part 3.
Yeah, it's my favorite week, without a doubt, of the season. Holiday tournament week is fun, but this is, some of the best games of the year, still in high school gyms, big crowds, still in their communities, so it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, everything points towards the third Morgan Park-Bogan game, and we know what Bogan did to Simeon the third time. I think Bogan should have their way with King. King's a good team, but Bogan should be able to handle them. But the Morgan Park Vocational game might be closer than most people think. Vocational does a really good job of slowing the game down against Morgan Park. With Keyshawn Palmer, they have some size. Morgan Park's probably going to win, but watch that one. It's close. I know Nick Irvin, the Morgan Park coach, talked last time about how Vocational was able to make them uncomfortable. So that's the one that could be an upset, probably not. And Morgan Park Bogan is going to come down to the last shot, most likely.
Let's take a look at Westinghouse in Class 3A on Tuesday. Number 10, St. Joseph's versus Orr. St. Joe's seems to be picking up steam a little bit here. Then on Wednesday, it'll be Marshall and North Lawndale.
These Red West teams are tough. They play tough. They just don't have a ton of talent, and their years have been kind of weird. Marshall's been on the upswing lately, but St. Joe's, clear, huge favorite here. St. Joe's should roll into Peoria as long as they're playing halfway decent. They should be there. St. Joe's is the clear favorite.
Moving up to Class 4A, let's start with the East Aurora Sectional, where game number 1 on Tuesday, it'll be Matea Valley versus Hinsdale Century, who seems to be healthy. Then on Wednesday, it'll be West Aurora, who got taken to overtime in the regional title game, versus York, who upset Bennett. Yeah,
this is like the last sectional. Hinsdale Central, you got to be on board now. We were on their bus early, thought this was a team that was headed to Peoria, and it looks that way again. Matt Rafferty might not be 100%, but he's, healthy enough to put up a low double-double every night. They've got the other pieces. Jordan Bradshaw can shoot it. George Kiernan, the big man. West Aurora has talent, but they're very inconsistent. It just depends on how their guards shoot. Marquise Howard might score 40 points, he might score 9. You just don't know what's going to come out of the West Aurora backcourt, so it's tough to pick them. Matea Valley, Cinderella story, they're fun. They don't have, a ton of D1 talent, but they've made an awesome playoff run here. You got to kind of enjoy that. But Hinsdale Central, clear favorite, they should win it all.
4 ranked teams highlight the Morton Sectional, starting on Tuesday with number 11 Riverside Brookfield versus number 18 Curie, and the other semifinal on Wednesday, it'll be number 20 St. Ignatius versus now ranked number 22 Morton.
You got to like Mike Oliver and Curie. It's a very young team, a lot of talent. They've made a nice run. I didn't expect them really to get by Fenwick, and they did, so you got to give them credit for that. Riverside Brookfield, very talented. They can shoot, so that game's kind of a pick 'em. I think it can really go either way. And then you got Morton and Ignatius. Morton has the talent. They have Wisner Perez. He's a real superstar. He's played so incredibly well since he got back from his injury. But St. Ignatius, I keep saying it over and over again, they have Rich Kehoe. They win games they shouldn't. They have Riley Duty, who's a rock-solid point guard. It sounds weird, but I like them to win the whole thing. I think they have the least amount of talent of the 4 teams, but they kind of know how to get it done, so watch out for St. Ignatius.
The Eisenhower sectional final on Friday could feature one of the biggest rematches in the state of Illinois. But first on Tuesday, Simeon has to get by Homewood Flossmoor, and then St. Rita on Wednesday will have to get by Thornwood.
HF, great run, just like Curie. They've come on late here. They've made a really nice playoff run, upset Thornton. They're going to have their hands full with Simeon. It's really hard to see them be able to take that one. HF likes to play kind of a slow, measured game, and that fits right into Simeon's hands. So you got to like Simeon in that. And then the Wednesday game, best game of the entire, maybe the second best game of the whole week, definitely the best game of the semis with that St. Rita against Thornwood. That can go either way. The South Suburbs would love to see Thornwood win that game and kind of prove that they've been underrated all year, and they could. So that's going to be definitely one to watch. And a Thornwood Simeon or a St. Rita Simeon game, great. Going to be tons of fun in Eisenhower. That's definitely where I'll be, probably Wednesday and Friday.
If you asked 4 different people who would win the Bolingbrook Sectional, you might get 4 different answers. First off, on Tuesday night, it'll be Neuqua Valley versus those smoking hot Providence Celtics. Then on Wednesday, number 19 Bolingbrook versus Aaron Jordan and Plainfield East.
Yeah, kind of surprised to see Plainfield East here. They were able to get by Plainfield North. They've had a really rocky season, but they have Aaron Jordan, and you see so often in the playoffs, those seniors, those superstar seniors, do not want to lose. They want to keep things going. Bolingbrook has that too, with Prentice Nixon. I watched them survive Joliet Central in overtime. They're a very talented team. They need to get Julian Torres involved a little bit more, because he is the one thing none of these other teams have. A D1 big, a 6'9" guy that can score in the post. So I still like Bolingbrook in this, even though Providence is really hot and Equal Valley's put together a great season. Bolingbrook has the most talent. If they can get Prentice Nixon on the outside and Julian Torres on the inside working well together, I can't see any of these teams beating Bolingbrook.
And finally, let's check out the Waukegan sectional up north on Tuesday. It'll be number 2, Stevenson, trying to get downstate for the 3rd straight year. They'll be taking on Joe Mooney and Notre Dame, who snuck past Deerfield on Friday. Then on Wednesday, you'll see number 4, Lake Forest versus Nogel Eastern and the Evanston Wildcats.
These are 2 fun games. Maybe the two kind of together, the 2 best games in the semis. Yeah, Stevenson's got to be a big favorite over Notre Dame, but we know Joe Mooney can light it up from outside. And Amar Bakar, Stevenson is made for him to go against. They do not have anybody in the post as good as Amar Bakar, so he should be able to really create some havoc down there. Hopefully Notre Dame can keep it tight, make it a good game. And on the other side, Lake Forest, Evanston, who knows? How that could go. Evanston can cause a lot of trouble for people, and a superstar performance by Nogel Eastern could get them into that sectional final, which would be kind of a year ahead of time and really send them win or lose on the course for a big year next year.
So those are your 3A and 4A sectional previews, but we would be reluctant to not talk about the Class 2A Super Sectional taking place on Tuesday from Joliet Central at 7 o'clock. It'll be number 19 Hales trying to get back downstate, and they'll face number 15 Uplift trying to get to Peoria for the first time in school history.
Yeah, this is a good one. Hales is the favorite, but Uplift has played such a rugged schedule. Going through that city tournament last few weeks, they had a lot of nice games. They beat Whitney Young, so it should be a close one. But you have to like Johnny Fox, Aaron Moore. Hales just has more talent. They should be able to run. It's a big floor at Joliet Central. That's going to help them out a lot too. We should also mention St. Francis de Sales is a shot. They're going to play in DeKalb in the Super in Class 1A, so it's possible we could have a pair of teams. I think it's been a while since that happened from the Chicago area, so good luck to St. Francis de Sales. They have a really solid player in Tyler Streeter, who we haven't mentioned all year, but he's one to watch.
Mike and Joel get further in depth with regional results and sectional previews on the No Shot Clock podcast, dropping every Tuesday on your podcast app. For Michael O'Brien, I'm Brian Chimino. We'll see you guys next week as we preview the state tournament.